Hi, and welcome to the NBA Economy Show. Just wanted to welcome you. Today is definitely the second day of the NBA draft. We see the NBA is trying something new this year. It's kind of like the NFL draft. Hopefully, it gets more viewers. It's something to sell to the to new TV deals. But it brings more excitement because it's early, day two. It's about to start in 2 hours. We're already seeing some small deals happen that probably wouldn't have happened if it all was in one day. Certainly, if you're a Knicks fan, you've had a very eventful few days. We've seen Mikal Bridges finally become a Knick. Everybody's teasing it as the Infinity Gauntlet. The Knicks challenged Boston. That Mikal Bridges came as a surprise. It came at a steep price. Um, 5 picks involved. The Knicks certainly that was their all in. Certainly not a star player, but that is their big move for the time being. Um, that move does complicate things. Certainly, if the deal stays as stand, it will cause the Knicks to be handicapped to the first apron, and so that first apron will mean the Knicks cannot spend beyond a certain point. It certainly challenges re-signing Hartenstein, and we see the Knicks have done some different things to try to give us a chance um, at re-signing um, iHeart. If you have any questions, just put it in the chat. I should be able to answer it. I'm monitoring it right now. Yeah, the first thing we wanted to go over. Um, but the Cal Bridges was the first domino. The second domino was OG Anunoby. So OG Anunoby, he came December 30th last year. He certainly made his impact. We had almost perfect January. Um, we did hear rumblings that he would sign for less, and we're certainly at this time, and we heard rumors that it wasn't going to be as cheap as maybe we had in our minds. But he certainly showed when he came over that he was worth investing in. And he signed, he hasn't signed on the dotted line, but they have agreed to a 5 year, 212, a little bit over $212 million deal that averages out to 43 million a year. It's not a max contract, but it's pretty close. It's 20 million off from the max he could have made, but he gave him a little bit of room. He bought a little bit in, and certainly he deserves the money. I know a lot of Knicks fans saying, "Hey, just too much money. Nobody should be making that much." It's a new NBA. It's 2024. It's a new CBA. You're going to hear of players making 50, 60, 70, even 80 in the coming years. So don't look into this and say, hey, he fleeced us. He did not fleece us. He got his value. And coming from a team where there's players who've signed for less than their values, it kind of looks unfair. But he's getting what he deserves. Um, I think OG Anunoby, without him, um, we would be back in the same place next year, even with Mikal Bridges. With them together, we can make a formidable lineup to challenge Boston. You have someone to D up Tatum. You have someone to D up Brown. We still have um, other star players, but these are like high level role players. So they're not going to give you that 25 points a game. but their impact on both sides um, are unbelievable. This will make him the highest paid Nick, even if we see Brunson extend. Brunson probably would make close to what an OG makes, and I don't think he would make more. So that's one of those weird things. Also, if Randall extends, he probably that's it's a little tough because I'm not sure if they're going to be able to afford all those without going past the second apron. Let me see. So his salary this year should be just over 36 million. So even though he averages 43, it starts low and it steps up over time with raises. Okay, so that deal has complicated things. It's gonna make it a little tougher to sign on Hart, especially if we locked into the first apron. The Knicks took on the draft in the draft. They made some changes um, just to try to squeeze in iHeart. And let me go there. So they selected Pacome Dadier. Uh, this one first round pick, but we had two first round picks. So the Knicks actually pulled off a few trades. So instead of 24 and 25, they transitioned to 25, 26, and then they selected Dadier with 25, and they shipped 26 off for six second round picks, five of which are in the future. What does that do? It allows the Knicks to put in some lower priced players at the end of the roster to squeeze in more money. So second round picks, they don't get paid as much as first round picks. They don't get paid as much as minimum players, like a minimum vet. So they're trying to squeeze every ounce to bring Iheart back. Um, Become Dadier himself is one of the youngest players in the draft, so this is a long-term development project. His numbers do not jump out at you. Internationally, they don't prioritize the young, so you're gonna see low numbers. You're gonna see the highlights. They don't look kind of that impressive, but over time, hopefully, the Knicks, um, you know, can develop his body and develop his game so that he could be a useful piece. Maybe not this year, but a couple years on the road. I don't expect him to get much playing time unless there's an injury and he can get on the court. But what we know with the Knicks is if you just get some court time and you show out, they will give you more minutes. Dadier does not want to be a drafting stash. He says he intends to stay in the U.S. He wants to play in the NBA. He doesn't want to go back over to France and then come back over. So you can expect him on the bench this year. Um, so this day two, which is today at 4 p.m., the Knicks have the 38th pick, the 51st pick. But as we know with Brock Allard, changes can happen. They can use some of their other assets to move up. There are plenty of really good players still available in the draft. So don't be too bummed out. Um, uh, the Knicks, when they worked out players this summer, there was a lot of second rounders, like projected second rounders. The Knicks worked out, and a lot of players that weren't even projected to be second rounders. So look for the Knicks to get players they want. They're just not just stuffing the end with random names. These are players they've vetted. I don't. Yesterday the Knicks were not uh, the star attraction. I think yesterday the biggest performer of the draft was definitely the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves won today. Uh, they coming into the day, all you could think about is, hey, they're a second even team. They have a low draft pick. They have a lot of needs. Um, uh, they said they wanted to run it back with Carl Anthony Towns. How are they gonna do it? And what they did is they gave up a little bit more of the future. And I just wanted to show you what they gave up was a 2030 2031 unprotected first round pick and a 2030 swap. But the interesting thing is they top one protected that swap. So that swap won't go through if it's a top one pick. So the Knicks, I'm sorry, uh, Minnesota really pulled one off because Dillingham definitely deserves to be up there. Um, he's excellent with the ball, excellent shooter. He's short, but he's gonna have a ball working with Anthony Edwards. Their other pick was Terrence Shannon, um, who should have been a lottery pick, and the only thing that prevented him from being a lottery pick is some of his legal troubles, accusations. If you want to look it up, you can look it up online. Um, but he definitely deserved to be a lottery pick, one of the highest skilled players in this draft. I think Timberwolves absolutely sold today. Um, I don't think they're over with. Today, the second day, they've made a trade already, shipping out a second round pick with a player to free up a roster spot. Um, if you have any questions or any questions you have for day two of the draft, you could definitely drop it in the chat. Pretty much that's all I had. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what the Knicks do to bring Hartenstein. One of the popular scenarios is that they use Precious Achua as a sign-in trade. It can't be done currently. It's not something they would probably advertise out there because another team would try to mess it up. But basically, they could sign and trade Precious Achua, um, sign and trade Precious Achua in the McCall trade, and what that will do is allow allow the Knicks to be locked at a higher tier, and which so they'll have access to more money for Hartenstein. And it won't be the max 17.4. It will be more like 16.5, but it's pretty close. Um, Hopefully that's enough for Hartenstein to be satisfied with, because we know even with Claxton he got 25 million a year. If Claxton got 25 a year, imagine what Hartenstein can get, and he could definitely get something equal. I'm not sure if anything above that, um, but hopefully he loves working in New York. We know he best friends with Mitchell Robinson, so hopefully that sways him to stay. The winning, um, uh, my guess is the Knicks offer something shorter than 4 years, and you let him out early, and hopefully they can sign a much bigger contract after 2 years. So that's what I had for today, and stay tuned to the NBA Economy Show. Uh, I'll probably go live again tomorrow to review what happened on day two. Any new developments, I will definitely be on it. Definitely leave a comment and I will reply. So it is. So I am out and peace.